Have you ever wished you could turn back time? Just for a minute, maybe an hour. I found a way, but it cost me more than I ever imagined. It all started at a flea market on a crisp October morning. I stumbled upon this old sand timer. The vendor, a man with a twinkle in his eye, claimed it was from a carnival that burned down a century ago. The glass was perfect, but the sand inside was as black as soot. "It doesn't measure time," he whispered. "It gives it back." I laughed, thought it was a neat trick, and bought it for $5. Back home, curiosity got the better of me. I flipped it. The dark sand trickled down, and as the last grain fell, I blinked. Suddenly, I wasn't in my kitchen anymore. I was back at the flea market 2 hours earlier, with empty hands. I raced home, and there it was, sitting on my table. It worked. At first, it was amazing. I used it for little things. Burned the toast. Flip perfect toast. Said something awkward on a date. Flip a chance to say something charming instead. Each rewind cost me the exact time it gave back. I started staying up late, perfecting conversations, replaying arguments until I won. My life became a series of perfect moments, but my days and nights blurred into one long, exhausting edit. Then came the night that changed everything. After a truly painful phone call with my sister, I reached for the timer without thinking. The sand fell. But this time, I didn't just go back an hour. I woke up on my 10th birthday. My mother, who passed away years ago, was there, setting a cake on the table, smiling at me. "Honey, why are you crying?" she asked. The joy was so intense, so real, it felt like my heart would burst. Then, just as quickly, I blinked and was back in my kitchen. The timer was in front of me, but I noticed something chilling. There was less sand in the top bulb than before. A cold dread washed over me. I had a terrible thought, but I had to know. I flipped it again. This time, I woke up in my college dorm, 20 years in the past. My old roommate was snoring in the bunk across from me. In a panic, I tried to flip the timer, but it wasn't there. I was stuck. I had to relive 2 decades of my life, knowing what was coming, powerless to change the big things, haunted by all my old mistakes. When I finally caught up to the present, years later, I found myself back in my kitchen. The timer was on the table, but now only a few grains of sand remained. Beside it was a note written in my own shaky handwriting. "Stop." My hand trembled as I looked at it. I could flip it one last time. I could see my mum again, even just for a day. The temptation was too much. I turned it over. As the very last grain of black sand fell, the glass cracked. The sand spilled out, seeping into the wood like ink, and vanished. All my memories of the rewound time, all the do-overs, they just faded, gone. I was left with just today, no more second chances. The next week, I went back to the flea market. The old vendor was gone. Someone else was in his spot, selling cheap timers filled with golden sand. I just kept walking. Some things are only meant to happen once. Thanks for listening to my story. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you next time.